Mic'd up.
Hello again, everyone, and welcome to Highlights from Lowlifes. I believe this is episode 20.
Wow.
Nobody thought we would survive beyond the first 3 episodes, so this is all a bonus for all of us.
Way to go, guys.
I know.
Wow.
I'm Rob Weber, and tonight I'm joined by Jeff Jones, Rob Lannerman, and
Good
Marty
evening.
Brown. And tonight's topic, as suggested by Marty, the top 5 things or people in sports that everybody likes, but you don't. So I'm sure this has been kind of popular. We're seeing a lot of comments in this area. People have misunderstood the assignment again. Our colleague Terry will provide a list of things that are. I think he's probably thinking back to an older show that we did, and has taken
Screwed up
on maybe the wrong target. But we'll discuss that later.
Who keeps this guy on the air?
Once again, the Lowlifes are a group of friends that played baseball together, and the pandemic hit, and we were looking for ways to get together and lift each other's spirits. We started some Zoom calls, and those evolved into some top 5 sessions. Strictly your own opinion on these. And tonight's topic should be kind of fun, or maybe not. Maybe this will encourage those to hate on us. We'll have to see.
It could be the death of us all. Why not?
All right. So Jeff,
I like the idea where you introduced us and we got together to lift our spirits. I thought that was a nice touch. Pretty good.
Yeah, some people lift more spirits than others.
Hey.
So our friend Jeff is feeling ill tonight, but as a trooper, he's on the show and ready to go. Jeff,
Yay.
Give us your number 5. And keep the enthusiasm down, Jeff.
It's please. Overwhelming.
Okay. All right. So my first one is over the top fan bases, meaning those guys that think, and the whole groups of fans that think that the whole world revolves around them and they're better fans because of how they act and how they show the love of the team. Examples: parking lot table dives by Buffalo Bills fans. Philadelphia fans throwing batteries at Santa. I got knocked offline. I don't know what happened.
Technical difficulties. Okay.
Yeah, I think we just lost a bad connection. So anyways, my number 5
Weber,
is...
who looks strangely interested.
All right. So technical difficulties, and we're all back.
We hope we're all back. If one of our fans could leave us a comment that we're actually alive and on the air. It's unclear at this point. It looks like we got dumped off the air there. I think we're back live now.
So this might be another one of our famous lost episodes.
Oh, you know what it was? It was a Raiders fan who didn't like my comment.
Could be.
I thought it was
So somebody send us a text or leave us a comment to let us know that we're live.
I have a text that's saying we're back.
All right, great.
Cool.
All right.
So those fans, you're talking about like Cornhusker fans that tailgate and party like it's 1979.
I don't mind the tailgate all day
just as
thing.
An example. Yeah.
It's the I'm better than you because I tailgate all day thing.
The Cleveland Dog Pound is another classic.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's not about you. Just be a fan, enjoy the game.
Have a good time.
A good time and move on.
Right.
All right, that's my number 5, Marty.
Okay. My number 5 is the evolution of pro basketball. Ever since they adopted the 3-point rule, they pretty much said, Marty, you're finished with this sport. Well, I knew that back in high school, but because I was the guy that averaged 3 points and 5 fouls. But so there you go. But
I thought because you were known for your dribbling.
I actually was playing in a game once, and I got called for my 4th foul, and I was told to go sit on the bench for 2 minutes, like it was friggin' hockey. If that's a true story, but anyway, the evolution of basketball. We it's not a team sport anymore. It's the stars. It's the LeBrons. It's the Kobe's. It's it takes away from the team. And I really just, and last night was a classic example, and I guess that it's going to hit home because of the home base of the people that watch us. But it's just getting more violent. I mean, that shot last night was incredibly violent and totally unnecessary. But I guess, am I a fan of college basketball? Well, they got 3 points too, and they're just turning into a feeder league for pro sports. I mean, so is college football again. But I just am not a fan of pro basketball anymore. Okay, Robbie, go ahead.
All right, mine sort of plays off Jeff's the over the top fans thing. I hate strangers that want to high five me at the ball game. I'm there with my friends and my family. That's who I want to watch the game with. I don't want some weird guy after, Mike Benjamin gets a base hit to run up down the aisle high fiving me. Just stay the hell away, bro. I don't need that. And I especially hate it at the bar when you're with the bar with some friends watching the game and some Looney Tune wants to high five everybody at the bar. I don't need that in my life. Go away. Go find your own friends. Leave me alone. So yeah, that bothers the hell out of me. I hate it. Webby,
you've never liked to be touched, right?
Well, yeah, I got a thing. Sure.
Your wife was just talking about that the other day on a Zoom call.
Yeah, she calls it a win-win. All right, Webby, why don't you wrap this round up?
I'm gonna pile on to the comments that Marty made.
Oh.
The NBA. I could care less about the NBA and haven't cared about it for many, many years now. My biggest peeves are the obvious bias towards the superstars. They can do virtually anything. It doesn't matter. The call always goes against the schmo on the other team. And I'm going, okay, why have rules if you're not going to enforce them? Which
Right.
brings me to point 2. There is no traveling. There's no double dribble. All the rules that I grew up with, they don't exist anymore. People just do whatever they want to. And if it's really, really egregious, then a ref might blow a whistle someplace. But I've seen guys take 4 or 5 steps on their way to a layup and going, okay, don't you have to dribble the ball in there? And
Exactly. Yeah.
For me, the strategy's been sucked out of the game. It's pass the ball to the superstar who takes a low percentage shot, and it's there's no setting up for a play to get an easy bucket anymore. It's more about, hey, nobody wants to see the big tall guys score. Let's make a 4-pointer or whatever they try to do now. So I have long since stopped watching the NBA. And
can I even carry on, because there was a thought that I didn't add on to. What a great basketball movie, we've all seen it 100 times, is Hoosiers, right?
Yeah.
And what does the coach do? He goes into the small school, and his practices. He says, "When do we shoot? We don't shoot. We have defense." And he got him running between chairs. And as the movie goes on, they're winning games and they're building in. Oh, it's the team. Rah, 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 rah. They go into the title game. They're going to play this big team, and they're fighting back, and the team is doing. And what happens at the very end? The coaches, timeout. The coaches, we're going to run this play. Let's play. And And the all-star, the big stud, the big, I can do it, coach. So at the very end of team building and discipline and work and sacrifice, the big guy takes the big shot and wins the big game.
I don't remember the top player having such a dullard voice, but okay.
If you were a horse, I'd shoot you.
I made my point.
Sure.
I think we have completed the number 5 round there. Let's move on to number 4. Again, the topic tonight is the top 5 things or people in sports that everybody likes, but you don't. And I will bring up one that I'm sure we'll hear again later. The DH. I'm sure there's a lot of people that like the DH because then every player in the lineup supposedly has the ability to get on base. You know, you get to see aging superstars continue to hit when they can't run or play a position anymore. But I think it took a lot of strategy out of the game. I thought this back in the mid 70s. I think it today. I understand why they want to go that route, but I've always said, hey, you know, a pitcher should learn how to hit. They're an athlete, right?
Sure.
They're part of the team, right?
Right.
So if they want to not practice that part of the game and hurt their team, that's on them. That's on their management and ownership. You know, when you say, "Hey, pitchers can't hit because they're not good at it," well, make them good at it. That's part of the game. And the DH is just furthering that by saying, "Okay, you can't run anymore and you can't field your position anymore, but you can hit okay. So let's put you out there, and then fans can continue to root for you, and it'll increase your career 5 or 6 years."
Yeah.
Just not interested.
And don't most teams have a hitting coach?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
A hitting coach that makes $85,000 a year trying to tell some guy making $120 million how to hit, not going to work.
So that's number 4 for me.
Webby, well said.
Good one.
But I would point out that if we ban the DH now, the Dodgers will have spent $700 million for a player who can't pitch for a few years and isn't going to do anything but pinch hit. Justice.
Yes, but of course, that pinch hitter is only making $2 million a year.
Yeah. Chump change.
More than him.
And selling a lot of jerseys and souvenirs.
Mm-hmm. But a good point. Marty, number 4.
Yeah, number 4. It is so popular. I just don't get it. It's boring. It's soccer. Why? Helicopter moms don't want their kiddies to play football. So they play soccer, and now we're finding out there's more head injuries from soccer than football. It's a boring game. Even in the international one, and they have billions of dollar tournaments, right? And they put it on broadcast, and we do it every 4 years and all this kind of stuff. The funny thing I don't like the game, but I do watch it on occasionally because I want to see somebody get hurt. I'm sorry. Okay, all right. And it's not the fake, the flop that they're famous for or thing. But again, multi-billion-dollar teams, multi-billion-dollar tournaments. Somebody gets hurt, they bring out the medical crew, 3 guys and a stretcher that look like the Keystone Cops. Go back to your classic movies to figure out what the Keystone Cops are. But anyway, it's insane. They have stadiums in Qatar and all these crazy. There's stadiums all across the country now that hold 12,000, 13,000 for the soccer crowd that are useless for anything else, but those 5-6 dates or maybe 10 dates during the season. And same can be said for the Major League football stadiums, but I think they bring in a little more money than that. But anyway, tell me, as an honest, open-ending question, guys, what is any redeeming quality in soccer?
Marty, I will be discussing this later on in the show.
Okay.
And I feel that's a sport where strangers want to high five you a lot.
And want to show their crazy fandom.
Yes.
Jeff, take number,
All right.
number 4.
This is my only actual specific athlete on the list that I don't like that everybody loves. This person in their particular sport is revered as one of the best of all time. Everybody says great for the game. All the TV coverage constantly whenever this person is playing. And I just can't stand 1 inch of him, and it's Tiger Woods.
The honorable mention.
Yes, he is the greatest. But it's like nails on a chalkboard watching him play because he's getting all the praise. He's getting 90% of the TV coverage. And yeah, it's probably because people want to watch him, so they're going to cover him. But there's 20 other guys competing for first place that you may see 1 of 5 shots of theirs. But Tiger's covered. Watch Tiger walk. What's Tiger wearing today? Let's see how he warmed up. How'd he drive there? We all know how he drove there. But yeah, I am definitely not a fan. That's my number 4. Robbie?
All right. My number 4, it's a relatively recent phenomenon, but it's happening with greater and greater degree, and it really annoys the hell out of me. Before the big games, playoffs, World Series, Super Bowl, even now, like games on Thanksgiving and Christmas, they're doing the red carpet treatment with the guys as they arrive to the stadium. And the guys are all dressing up in the fancy, Huggy Bear from Starsky and Hutch suits, and doing all these elaborate outfits and stuff. Like, come on! I want to watch the game, not your GQ audition. I really hate that, and they make a big thing about it. They talk to them on the little red carpet area, and they've got them in front of all the sponsor banners and the whole thing, just like it's like a movie premiere or a Broadway show or something like that. Boy, that drives me nuts. Like, get in the locker room and get ready for the fucking game. So yeah, I hate that.
That's a good thing to hate. I think you're just envious of Cam Newton's snow bonnet.
Well, and then the other day, Brock Purdy came in with just a normal sport coat, and it looked like a normal kind of a flannel pattern shirt and like Dockers, and everybody's judging him for wearing that. I'm like, who cares? Just, let's play ball. And don't high five me, bro. Is that you, Webby? Are you next?
No, he went. I think that's it for 4.
That's the end of that round.
Whoa, we're tripping
already.
All right.
Yep.
So I guess that brings us to our favorite segment, What You Drinking? And as always, we are sponsored once again by Almanac Brewing, the pride of Alameda, one of the top craft brewers in the country. Almanac Brewing, delicious, known for their Love Hazy IPA, which is a top seller everywhere. But we're all drinking different stuff. And if you've been following the show at all, I really love their rotating lager series. I am drinking the Porch Light Lager. Super flavorful, still super refreshing. And once again, I'm working on this as the pitch for these guys to use it as a slogan. Like a moth to a light, I'm drawn to this beer. So what you guys drinking?
So I'm going to let the fans speak for me.
What you drinking? I'm back to True Kolsch. Thank you, Marty, Jonesy.
You're welcome. What the hell did I do?
That's why Marty.
Well, again, it's the True Kolsch. It's the best beer they make. It's my favorite. I think it's the best beer they make. And I did a little research on this, and I went back and did a little. I had a friend who had German background, and I said, "What does Kolsch mean? What's the word Kolsch?" And it was kind of it's short for damn. This is good stuff. Okay. Amen. Okay. Thank you, Albert.
Wait a minute. There's one more to go.
Oh,
I'll take Paul Lynn to block.
All right, I'm taking a night off from the sour.
Oh, boo.
I'm doing the Boost Coffee Stout.
Even better.
Wow.
Yeah. This is the time of year to drink this beer. It's very hearty and had a long day, so this is going to keep me up for a few hours. I like the taste of this. I would recommend this as a fall and winter beer. This is not what you want to crack open in the heat of summer, but right now it's awesome. I'm wide awake. I'm ready to do a top 10 instead of a top 5.
And did you know they source coffee from local roasters for that beer?
I did not.
Well,
Wow.
now you do.
Does it say that on the can? Because I'm not wearing my glasses. So
Yeah, it's there. And we got a what you drinking from Big Juicy who called in
Great.
to make sure he let us know.
What am I drinking? Well, I'm drinking a whole lot of love. Same as last week. Big Love. Double Hazy IPA. Boy, is it good. Dry hopped using citrus, centennial, and cashmere hops. Love the taste. Goes down smooth, and you know what you are drinking. No watered down beer, this one. A lot of character. Love it.
Well, I don't think you could sum it up any better than that, huh?
Yeah.
Anyway, well, that wraps up what you drinking. We may ask ourselves that in a little bit too as we get angry and angry as the night goes on. What are we drinking now? But in the meantime, we're still sponsored by Almanac Brewing. Make sure you stop by and, like I always say, let them know you heard about them on the Highlights from Lowlife show, and they might give you a pity beer.
Yeah. Or they just look like you got two heads. What?
Yeah.
That too. Hey, back to you, Rob.
all right, we move into round three. Let's see. Robbie, you start.
All right, let's see. I covered the red carpet. I covered the dumbasses that want to high five me.
You're mumbling again.
Yeah.
We heard about that several times.
All right. You know what? I don't like that a lot of people do, and a lot of people are paying good money to subscribe to their website, theathletic.com.
Oh.
Those are all columnists. The Athletic, if you're not familiar, it's online sporting magazine, kind of a daily thing, and they cover all the major sports. And they took a lot of columnists from the papers around the country, some really great writers, but they're all columnists. And so after spending a little time on the Athletic, I realized it's just all opinion pieces. These are the knuckleheads that track the wrong plane, and there's no like real journalism. None of these guys seem to sit down and speak with anybody and do a traditional interview where you ask questions and let the interview unfold and try to follow up on different things. It's really just it's all opinion, and it makes me think back to the days of the Sporting News and Sports Illustrated and even Sport Magazine, even though that was more of a monthly thing, where they actually did in-depth interviews with people, and the Sporting News reported on the games and how a team was rolling for the last week and where the problems were and all of that stuff. And that kind of reporting has gone away to what you can get what's on the Athletic through Twitter and Facebook and all that. It's just some guy with an opinion spitting it out there. So I miss the real journalism and the real storytelling of the sport. And the Athletic just drives me nuts. There's just no information there that I really want to dig into anymore.
Agreed.
Can I piggyback? Can I use mine next to piggyback on that?
Sure.
I could think of nothing that would make me happier.
Wow.
I could.
Sports talk radio.
Oh.
All right, yeah.
Just all it is people's opinions of what people should do with money they don't have, with and decisions being made that they don't have any information on and are not in the room to discuss. But they know everything that everybody should do beforehand. They know everything everybody should do afterwards. They're just it's just and the people that call in and give their opinions on everything they know that's better than the people running the teams.
Like, why can't the Giants trade Lamont Wade Jr. for Pete Alonso?
Yeah.
Why won't they make that trade? Why won't
Why-
the Giants make
why-
that trade?
Yeah. Why haven't the Giants done this? Why don't the 49ers run this play in this situation? Why don't yeah.
Why do the
all that
Yankees think
stuff.
they're relevant?
Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Where's the computer failure when you need it? Oh, jeez.
All right, that's me tagging on. Let's
Yeah,
go
I
to
kind of like that one, Jeff. I like that.
Webby.
Okay, I'm going to do a dual label on this one. I'll call it the LA Dodgers / New York Yankees. I mean,
Okay.
the sport at this point has become kind of a joke in terms of the haves and the have-nots. Just the sheer amount of money that these organizations have. It doesn't matter to them. They're just spending. So what if there's a penalty if they go over a certain threshold? I think the Dodgers are going to pay a 42% tax. They don't care. Here, Pirates, have some of our money. We don't care. When Shohei's average annual salary, I don't care that it's spread out, is more than the payroll of entire teams, you've got something wrong.
Yeah.
My problem with the Dodgers is they complain a lot about how unfair things are for them. It's like, oh, come on. And the Yankees as well. Oh, we got hit by injuries. Oh, yeah, that's right. Injuries don't happen to other teams, just you. God, it's so unfair that it happens to you. Their unlimited resources are making a mockery of the game. They have unmatched television deals. I mean, the Pirates get a $4 million television deal, and the Yankees have a $500 million television deal, but Pirates don't get any of that. They should demand it. Say, hey, when we're playing you, we get half the money for that game. Otherwise,
I like that.
Yankees, you can go out on the field and play with yourselves. Anybody want to raise their hand on that one? Okay, no. Okay. And then just the sheer arrogance of the organizations, and a lot of the people that support the organizations. It's like, we're here today to watch the Dodger game. There happens to be another team that they're playing.
Right.
Same with the Yankees. Oh, geez, these visiting teams, they're very, very lucky to have been able to come into Yankee Stadium. It just creeps me out, and I'm hoping that they do something with the sport that kind of allows the lesser teams to have a chance. And I don't see it. I think the disparity is getting worse and worse.
Yeah.
So I do have a slight problem with your pick.
Okay.
The topic was things most people like.
There are a lot of Dodger fans and a lot of Yankee fans. Yeah.
I don't think there's as many as that.
I believe there are lots of Yankee fans just because they traditionally win, and there's lots of Dodger fans just because they traditionally win. And there's lots of transplants around the country. So there's a lot of people that will be apologists for this type of behavior, but I get to hate them. So that's all right.
Yeah. I just think you're in the majority on that one.
Yeah.
That would be nice. That would be nice. All right. Who still needs to do their number 3 pick? Marty.
Has, again, an open question to the rest of you guys and anybody that's with us tonight. Has anyone ever watched the entire Home Run Derby?
Nope.
Nope.
No.
You're
It's
muted, Robbie.
It's boring. It's stupid.
I-
It has no concept to the actual playing of the game itself. Yet they sell out the stadiums every time they pull this. Of course, it's during the All-Star weekend, so they put it as part of the package, and it is the dumbest thing. I have to put it up there with the. Did you hear now that during the break before the Super Bowl, they're having the Pro Bowl game? It's a tag football. It's a flag football game.
Yeah.
I kid you not. It's a flag football game. Unbelievable. All right, now let's go a little history because I remember doing it. Who won the Home Run Derby in 2013?
I have no idea.
And I think that's the point.
Vladimir Guerrero.
It was local. Yoenis Cespedes for playing for the A's that year.
Okay.
Now, you realize when you watch this, the pitcher is not a pitcher. He's not even close to the pitcher's mound. Who was the guy throwing the ball to Cespedes? Because you got to be your own ball club. It was the third base coach that year, Mike Gallego. Mike Gallego was a great journeyman ball player, was coach, the whole bit. I'm not sure if he's still involved with baseball. I hope he is. I thought he was always a great guy. Here's the story. It was 2013, and the A's still stink. So you got great seats right in front if you wanted to go to the ball game. So sure, I got a seat, a couple of rows behind the A's dugout, and here's Gallego coming out at third base, and I yelled out, "Hey, Gallego! Cespedes won the Home Run Derby. You were the pitcher. What did you get out of it?" It was funny. He heard me and responded. He just went, pat on the back. Let's show the charade in front of the charade in front of the charade. Let's just pull the onion back and say it's the biggest piece of. But anyway, it makes money, so there it is. But I can't stand the Home Run Derby. What a joke.
Agreed.
Thank you.
No argument for me. All right. Let's move into round 2.
Oh, I don't get to go in round 3?
You started it.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Huh? Never mind. It was so long ago, I lost track.
Like a moth to a flame, this guy drinks too much.
Yeah, I better get another beer so I can get my head straight.
Maybe get a pencil and take some notes or something.
Hey, at least this week I looked it up before the show started. I knew the topic.
There's a chance, not much of a chance, but there's a chance.
All right. Round 2. Let's see. I'll start it off here. I want to talk about LeBron James. And again, Jeff is probably going, well, who likes LeBron James? Well, apparently advertisers.
Yeah. He's the Tiger Woods of his sport.
So we've all had our share of basketball players who became the height of the game and probably got treated with kid gloves out on the court and got to shoot 35 foul shots in every game because somebody breathed on him. But LeBron takes it to another level. I mean, he's the consummate ball hog. For me, it was the start of let's not have an offense. Our offense is get it to that guy every time. so that he can back his way into a couple of defenders and draw a foul or throw up a shot that is low percentage. That's what's happening on the court. But off the court now, it's very, very important for all of us to know what his political and religious and social beliefs are. Because that's what I want. I think, if I'm trying to restructure my life, I want to know what LeBron James thinks I should do, because of course, he's got a great background in everything me, and we can really sympathize with each other. So not somebody I'm very interested in hearing about their political thoughts, and he pushes it on you. You're trapped. You're thinking you're getting an interview about basketball, and he decides at a certain point to take it in a different direction. And you can always see the poor guy that has to interview you and go, "Okay, that's not what I asked you, but I'll try and let you talk for a few minutes before I can get out of this." So, yep, he is not one of my favorites.
I thought I did something.
Perhaps you did. All right, so that's number 2 for me. Jeff.
All right, my number 2 is not going to go over well to the majority of this group.
No.
Fantasy sports, particularly those who participate in fantasy sports to the point of endless obsession and discussion. I can't stand it. Like, these two Robs here will be sitting enjoying a baseball game, but they got to know which guy is going to give them points for their weekly total. Oh, God, who the F cares?
Well, clearly.
So I think, Jeff, what you're saying is you're not into fantasy, but Star Wars is your favorite thing.
Yeah. Because that's real.
Teddy bear.
I am so glad Rob's mic is not working properly because I can't hear him insult Star Wars.
I said, what do you want from me?
Yeah. I'm done. That's what you sound like.
He sounds like an Ewok.
All right, that's my say. Marty?
Okay. Am I okay? All right.
It's Robbie.
All right.
It's Robbie's mic.
So
Can you?
okay.
It's coming in and out.
Yeah, you got a lot of pops going on. Anyway, my number 2 is is an individual, and it's because he did something to me.
Uh-oh.
Yes. In 1995, Stan Javier. Stan Javier was a journeyman ball player from 84 to 2001. He was in the major leagues for 16 years for various teams. But there was one day at the Oakland Coliseum where this was almost 30 years ago, and it's still embedded in my mind of what he did to me. I was at the ball game, and about the 4th inning, somebody taps me on the shoulder and said, "Hey, buddy, take a look at the scoreboard." And sure enough, on the scoreboard, they said, these people sitting in this section in these seats, go see the guest relations. And there was my seat. So I went down and guest relations, and guess what? I'm involved in the home run derby contest in the 8th inning. Oh, cool. So they pull your name out randomly, and for every ace player that comes up the bat, a name is going to be showing up on the scoreboard. And if they hit a home run, you get $1,000. Grand slam is whatever. Okay. Cool. So bottom of the 8th inning in a tie game in Oakland. The first guy gets up. Some schmo's name, wasn't mine. Walks. Stan Javier. There it is on the. Again, we're talking 25 years ago. So it was the big scoreboard in Oakland. Marty Brown, Stan Javier is batting for you. There it is, big as life. Me, tie game, guy on first. You'll never believe what he does. Turns the bunt. He bunts. My life was changed at that moment. I could have been a thousandaire. And ever since then, Stan Javier has had an X in my book. So I hate that guy, Stan Javier.
Yeah, but do other people like Stan Javier, or do they even know he exists?
I mean, he played in Major League Baseball for almost 2 decades. Of course, he's had to have fans somewhere. Anybody? Okay, anybody? We have the live mic. All the people who even heard of Stan Javier.
I've heard of him. He's not.
Your mic's not working, Robbie. God, it only took us 20 shows, but we finally shut him up.
Hey, come on! I was trying to pad the story, Rob. Come on,
I was trying to defend you.
Get it fixed.
Is it working yet?
Yeah.
It sounds a little funny, but it's working.
Oh well.
That's just him.
I was
funny anyway.
Nope.
Now it doesn't work again.
Well, I stopped talking.
It keeps crackling and popping on you when you start talking.
All right, how about now?
Perfect.
That's better. It doesn't sound like Radio Shack anymore.
All right.
It's Tandy. Thank you very much.
All right. Now that you can talk, you take it.
Well, I was going to defend Marty to a degree, and
Thank you.
maybe like nobody with Stan Javier. He may not have been loved, but I think you'd be hard pressed to find anybody that disliked him. I think most people were just indifferent, right?
Yeah.
So if you're indifferent and then Marty really hates him, that's sort of like the topic.
So maybe one night our topic will be top 5 people you're indifferent to, but somebody else hates.
I kind of like that.
But it's a good story. Give me a break.
All right. Anybody still have to do this round 2 pick?
Hell, maybe me. I don't know.
I think it is. Yes.
Okay. Analytics. There's a lot of people that are into analytics because I mean the sports, all the stadiums put it up on the scoreboard now and all of that. I really hate analytics because we're baseball guys, so I'll speak in terms of baseball. Over 162 game season, analytics makes a lot of sense. You know,
inning to inning, pitch to pitch. No.
I'm going to tell you why the Dodgers don't have any World Series except in that stupid COVID year that doesn't count. It's because they play analytics all year long, and they go in the playoffs and they play analytics. And analytics doesn't take into the fact that maybe Freddie Freeman's kid was crying all night last night, and he didn't get any sleep at all. I mean, that's just baseball, knowing your guys, baseball instinct. The numbers say, oh, his hard hit rate is 115. Yeah, but his batting average is 205. So he's hitting into a lot of hard outs. Great. That doesn't help me. I'd rather it's all, results matter way more than a lot of those stupid stats. And this is sort of leading into my number 1. But I think like WAR, wins above replacement. How do you know? Juan Uribe had a negative WAR in 2010. The Giants don't win the World Series without him, right? I mean, Edgar Renteria was a .06 WAR. They don't win the World Series without him in 2010, period. There's other intangibles that the analytics just do not take into consideration. I mean, there's probably a part of the game that matters, and it's great for a big picture, but it is not good in a 3, 5, or 7 game series. Those analytics, you got to put them off to the side a little bit and trust your baseball instincts and trust your baseball people. And I think it's happening in football. It's happening definitely it's happened in golf. It's happening in basketball. So it's out there and it's no good. So there you go.
Good point. Very good point. Yeah.
It looks like the Giants are agreeing with you on this. The new staff there appears to be baseball guys, not analytics guys.
Right.
Yeah, I think they saw their fill of analytics the last couple of years.
Well, when the Red Sox won that World Series when Joey Cora was managing, they used that like, okay, here's our analytics for the month. We can use this for planning. But then they did a lot of stuff away from that plan as things happen. A guy got hurt, maybe tweak this, tweak that, whatever, and they adjusted based on baseball knowledge at that point. So it's probably great for long-term planning, but it is not great for your day-to-day operation.
Yeah,
Agreed.
I hate it.
Cool.
There you go.
Yeah.
That's the end of round 2.
Wow.
I know.
We're getting good at this.
So I'm going to
only took 20 twice.
That's right. I'm going to take a few minutes while these guys use the restroom and blow their nose, right, Jeff?
Yep.
And I'm going to tell you about the other shows on the Mic'd Up platform.
Oh, cool.
All right, offload, reload.
Yep. So first off, Bears and the Bigs. My friend Jim Darby, a former Easton sports executive, has a show every other week on Wednesday nights, 4 p.m. Pacific. Jim will cover a few different topics during his show. Usually he'll talk about his books, one of them being called Bears and the Bigs, former Cal Bears who made the major leagues. And Jim will tell you about their stories. And then he likes to talk a little bit about what's going on in sports today. He gets some. Last show was his gripes about the portal system in college sports, which was great to listen to.
Yeah, I tuned in on that one. That was a lot of fun. He was right on. He was right
very
on.
much agreed with him, and I think college sports is going down a dark path right now. We'll see,
Yeah.
but I don't know that we will be calling it college sports 10 years from now. It'll be so Jim will be on next Wednesday night. You'll see it in the upcoming shows on the Mic'd Up app. Again, get the Mic'd Up app from Apple or the Google Play Store, and you'll see the upcoming shows on the left-hand side and the archived shows on the right-hand side. Another show is Hall of Fame Conversations with John Rieger and Barry Smith. John is a practicing PGA teaching professional, and Barry is a former NFL player. But what they have in common is a love for Florida sports, and they talk to members of the Florida Sports Hall of Fame. Their last show was Rick Barry. I didn't even know that Rick was from Florida or had any ties to Florida, but now I do. They've had some great guests on there. Wade Boggs was on recently. Really good insight. They don't ask your typical questions. You get to learn a little bit more about the person. So look for them. Their show will appear in the upcoming list. They're kind of catch and go. You don't know when you'll see their shows come up. So best thing to do is when a show does come up, follow them. You go into the show and click the heart next to the host, and that will give you notifications every time they have a show. The Rick Barry Show. We just spoke about Rick. Rick and his cohort Cyrus will have a show from time to time, and they'll talk NBA, they'll talk ABA, they'll talk college basketball, they'll talk anything that you want to talk about for the most part. Cyrus will collect the questions and pass them by Rick, and Rick will give you an honest answer, whether you like it or not. I kind of like his candor, and he obviously enjoys doing the show and hearing from the fans. So look for them. They do about 2 or 3 shows a month. Let's see. Another active show right now is our friends at Yankees Coast to Coast or Coast to Coast Yankees. They haven't decided what name they're going to use yet. These are these are buddies of ours, Mike Miller and Adam Schneider, who are longtime Yankee fantasy campers. who are pretty well entwined in the Yankees organization. They will bring on guests from time to time, whether they be fellow fantasy campers or other pros that have worked in the fantasy camp. They have a different topic every week, always Yankee focused. And you'll see a various array of hosts and co-hosts there, but Mike and Adam are there most of the time. It's a good listen. They've done about 5 shows, and it's fun to watch. So that's what we got on the active list. There'll be other shows upcoming. So take a look in the app from time to time and see what's there. If you like what you see, follow it, and you'll get notified. That's what I got. All right, let's move on to number 1. We have the top 5 things and people in sports that everybody likes, but you don't. The number 1. Marty, what's your number 1?
Well, I have to, before I announce it, there's a few things I need to qualify first.
Oh, God, here we go.
Yeah, here it is. All right. I was a football official at one time. So as Jeff is spitting up already about my myriad of tirades about officials. And everybody remembers the Big Bang show that was on TV. So there's a metaphor. So, again, what I don't like, but people like, and I already have 2 strikes, but screw it. Let's go for it. The Kansas City Taylor Swifties. This was a football team at one time, but now it's been corrupted by this performer that has stuck her nose into territory that she doesn't belong, but the networks love her. Every other play, we want to see what she's doing or drinking in the box. And, unfortunately, that... go ahead.
What she's doing or drinking in the box.
And this came to a head in the last Sunday's game.
I'll take that one.
Where the star quarterback became unglued because something happened in the field, and I kind of analyzed it, and I figured why. And he's been around for years; he's seen football games before, so I figured out it was because it was the first touchdown called back by a penalty in the presence of Taylor Swift. No.
Somebody throw a yellow flag at Marty.
It was the first touchdown called back in the presence of Taylor Swift that involved her boy toy. And we all know when we look back, and they analyzed the hell out of this over the weekend. So she had to be upset about it because we had to analyze the hell out of it. The guy was offside. Is this a technical rule? Is this a college rule? Is this a high school rule? It's a pee-wee rule. And the kid, stay on side. Now, all that being said is I need another beer. Jeff, go ahead.
Wow.
I've been rehearsing this all day.
Yeah, I know. It seems like it.
All right. Where do I guess I am.
Yeah, good luck following that.
Yeah. Can I punt? That's what I don't like, punts. No. I've said this on our calls before. I've said it on our Zooms before. Every minor accomplishment, every single play needs some sort of celebration or dance or look at me moment. it's the first quarter, 5 minutes into the game. The team's down by 7 points, and the guy catches an 8-yard pass and gets up and dances and celebrates. Great. Fabulous. It's the 7th inning of an 8-5 game, and you get a walk, and you have to do 18 things at first base. I'm not saying take the joy out of the game. You want to chuckle with your friends. You want to get back in the dugout and do 18 dances and put a hat on and whatever. That's great. But really, every single minor accomplishment needs a look at me moment, needs a, hey, maybe this will get me on ESPN moment. Come on, play the game.
Agreed.
Yeah. Agreed. And you hit it. That's all it is. Just get me on ESPN. Yeah.
And the talk show hosts, the sports talk guys that have to analyze the bat flip. They have to do full analysis over every bat flip. God, really? Come on.
Agreed.
Does that mean we're going to have Mary Jo Retton as a guest analyst on ESPN?
or Mary Lou. Mary
Lou. You mean Mary Lou Retton?
Mary, yeah,
yeah, I think you got 2 of the 3 names wrong.
Mary Jo Retina. I can't see where you came up with that one.
Hey, you drink as much as I do. See how well you do.
Perhaps you shouldn't have had that second beer.
Hey, if the mic'd up guys are listening, we need to capture this soundbite. That we played it once before and we need it back.
Somebody throw a yellow flag at Marty.
All right, Weber.
All right, I've been assured that this show is recording, so we won't lose all of it.
Oh, nuts.
So I promised you that we'd talk about soccer because we all love soccer here. You've heard all of the information, but I'll just reiterate: it's supposedly the most popular sport in the world. I've tried over the years to like it in some way, shape, or form. I appreciate these guys are great athletes and they're in great condition, but the sport offers very little in the way of scoring opportunities. It's boring. The field's too big. And my pet peeve is we've talked about these in our sports rules that we hate. How can you have a sport where the clock is not visible to the fans and players?
Yeah, no question.
And then of course, if you want your professional wrestling moment, just wait for a foul in a soccer game. The over-the-top acting that is somehow bought into by the referees. It's like that. It's unwatchable for me. So I usually find myself if I happen to be turning past it, I keep going. So soccer. That's my number one. All right. Who's left? Robbie?
Yep.
All right.
I'm going topical. I'm worn out. I wasn't a huge fan of the guy before. I understand the spectacle and all the hype around him, but Shohei Ohtani. People love that guy. I mean, first off, the first time I actually got to see him play live was in Chicago on our baseball trip last year, and we saw him play against the White Sox, where he went a stellar 0 for 4 with 2 strikeouts, thus proving he's a normal player. And then, I noticed every time people were interviewing guys about playing with Shohei Ohtani this year, normally they say, well, what's it like to play with Freddie Freeman? Oh, he's a great guy. He's fun in the clubhouse. He really keeps us loose, and he's definitely a leader on this team. And Ronald Acuna, oh, yeah, the guy's a leader, and he reminds us that we should be having fun playing baseball, and he just brings us all together. And they say, hey, what's it like to play with Shohei Ohtani? And they go, he meticulously prepares for the game. So you don't hear a lot of ringing endorsements from guys in the same locker room with him in the same clubhouse. And that was number one. Then I decided to like do a deep dive into the numbers. So currently he's played 6 years in the majors now. He's got a 274 lifetime batting average, 171 home runs, and 437 RBIs. He's one of only like 7 guys to hit more than 40 home runs in a season and not hit 100 RBIs. So that's kind of a warning sign that like he's hitting home runs in a lot of games where they're down 10-0, and then he knocks out 2 home runs, and great, the Angels lost 10-2. But it's so he seems to be a guy that the significant moments come when there's not a lot of pressure. And so then I looked at his postseason, and he doesn't have one. So if he's that good, I mean, the Dodgers just spent a lot of money, even though it's not a lot up front. It's a lot of money on a guy that's never been in the playoffs before, has never really performed in a big game before. Like the Angels had a chance at a wild card spot this year, and they didn't get there. And then I looked at him. I compared him to Pete Alonso. Ohtani's hit 274. Alonso in one less year. He's only played 5 years. Is 251. Ohtani's got 171 homers. Pete Alonso's got 192 homers. Wow. Ohtani's got 437 RBIs. Alonso's got 498 RBIs. And then people say, well, he pitches some of those games, so he's not playing as many games as some of these guys. So then I went and let's find a comparable player. Fred Lynn. Both of those guys played about 770 games in their first 6 years. Fred Lynn is not in the Hall of Fame. Fred Lynn, in his first 6 years, hit 306. He had a lot fewer home runs at 122, but where Ohtani had 171. But Fred Lynn had 511 RBIs, and his team went to the World Series once in the playoffs 4 times. Wow. So, the hype on Ohtani, he's a designated hitter right now, and he may never pitch again. And if you're the Dodgers, you spent all that money and all that deferred money. That elbow is going to be an issue over the long haul. It's not like elbows get magically better after 2 surgeries. So I don't know. I think the hype on Ohtani is pretty. It's just really overinflated. He's probably going to have a couple of great years to start it out, and then this could be like an Albert Pujols deal or some of those other guys that sign for big money and really just become, non-factors as their career goes on. So anyway, I'm worn out by the hype, and I think some people overpaid, and I think the Giants may have dodged a bullet.
Yeah. Are the Mets still paying Bobby Bonilla?
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And that's another thing. My honorable mention. Deferred salary, there ought to be maybe an annual salary cap, and then there's also got to be a long-range salary cap. If teams are going to just manipulate the system and do deferred salary like this, there's got to be some cap on that as well.
And that goes back to the point of big markets versus small markets, because the small markets don't have the guaranteed money that far out from TV deals and stuff to make those kind of deals.
Yep, exactly. All right, there you go.
Great.
So could you add some more detail?
Do you want his comps with Eddie Murray? Yeah. Who is in the Hall of Fame? Eddie Murray kicks his ass too, so it's not like.
Well, I'd like to put him up against Double Duty Radcliffe and see what kind of numbers we got.
There you go.
All right, we've hit the hour mark.
Already?
But I really have a buzz going, so I think we need to go through our comments here. Robbie, Jeff, you got these?
I'll let Robbie do the comments, but I got one right off the bat I really need to play.
Go for it.
Hey, Robbie, I don't watch soccer either. If I wanted to watch somebody struggle to score for 90 minutes, I'd take my friends out to the bar.
Thanks, Teddy Bear.
Right, Teddy Bear.
Teddy Bear for the win. And then Vonnie has another compliment for Jonesy, and I think this goes back to a call from one of the topics or one of his.
Oh my God, Jonesy! Thank you so very much for bringing that up, because that is a pet peeve. When I'm watching a game, I'm watching my team, and I get to hear on the side from Rob E. Oh my gosh, this guy needs to hit into a double play or something like that so I can get my points, but he's on the other team. Makes me furious.
But of course, that's going to the fantasy baseball thing. But
Yes.
I
Right.
have to look for the upside somewhere. All right. JC with his
Oh,
choice.
great.
JC here. I had my list all prepared, but then Patrick blew it up on Sunday with instant unpopularity. I was going to do Patrick Mahomes, guilt by association, Jake from State Farm, guilt by association, Travis Kelce, guilt by association, Taylor Swift. For the love of God, we know she's at the game. Shut up.
Thank you. Thank you.
Oh, this is probably my.
That was funny because the NFL has said they will continue to show her at any game because that's of fan interest. What fan?
Yeah.
Jonesy's daughter.
She won't even. They think that they're doing something by showing her, by getting her fans to watch football. It ain't working.
Ain't
It's just
gonna work.
pissing off football fans.
All right, this is my favorite caller to pronounce the name. Ezra von Mermelschwanz.
All right, Ezra.
Ezra Mermelschwanz here from Yankees Coast to Coast. Real fast. The Ghost Runner. Earn your way on, baby.
Yep.
The New York Mets uniforms. They look like orange-headed stepkids. All NBA uniforms. Just all of them. Whatever happened to the Celtics in their little shorty shorts? And then these stupid city uniforms in baseball.
Yes.
Putrid. Finally, last but not least, the Super Bowl. You get drunk, you eat wings, and you watch commercials. The rest is a snore fest.
Nice. I will put one of my honorable mentions as a tag on that, and that is halftime shows.
Oh, yeah.
The halftime shows are useless and pointless and don't need to be there.
I had City Connect on my list for.
Nice.
Yep. Honorable mentions. All right. Big Juicy. Now, I'm going to warn you up front. Big Juicy has left. This would be a 5-part mini series. So here we go.
Okay, you guys, in 19 previous episodes of Highlights from Lowlifes, there has never been a topic which better tease up the game of Never Have I Ever. So grab your beers, and here we go for number 5. Never have I ever liked Draymond Green. Number 4, never have I ever liked Jim Harbaugh.
Ooh.
Okay. I'm in with that.
Number 3, never have I ever watched an entire PGA match on TV. Number 2, never have I ever watched a Muggle Quidditch match. And finally, number 1, never have I ever watched an entire Super Bowl halftime show. Usually it's time to upload, reload.
And he used offload reload, so that was awesome.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right,
He's a
looks
good
like
guy. We should keep him around. He's a good guy.
one of our other regulars, Vonnie, checks in.
So I don't have a list necessarily for this one, but I'm going to probably drop a few of my comments here and there on my pick. But I will say one thing that I absolutely can't stand, and for some reason, the fans for the Giants seem to absolutely love, and that's those stupid City Connect uniforms. I know they won all the time last year and the year before, but they're ugly.
So there you go. There's our loyal listener call in. So we got honorable mentions, I would think, right?
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, I think the City Connect uniforms. There are a few that are okay, but the majority of them remind me of the old softball uniforms that some of the teams played with in the 80s. You know, it's been done before. You know, if you want to look like the Houston Astros, that's great, but I don't get the point. I mean, other than to make a whole bunch of money by selling
that's the
85
point.
different kinds of uniforms. So
That's
Right.
the only point.
Right. Yeah, and San Diego. I mean, what the hell is that? I mean, what?
I know the San Diego uniform looks like Miami.
yeah.
It looks like what the Marlins should be wearing, not what the Padres should be wearing. The only one
the Giants uniforms, they just don't strike a lot of fear in me. Oh my God, the ice cream man is coming up to the plate.
Creamsicle guy, yeah.
Weber, you'll like this.
No, I won't.
The Cubs uniform looked like my garbage collector.
Wow, they've got some pretty well paid garbage collectors up in Elk Grove.
No, I want to say just to our people that left messages tonight. That fantastic. Thank you all. That was
yes.
Yeah.
Good audience.
We may be replaced soon. These guys are pretty good.
Do you guys have any? Do we have any honorable mentions that they may have missed, or because I have the Wave.
Oh, okay.
I hate the Wave.
I have some what might be unpopular ones that I've heard, not necessarily from me. I've heard from two people now that don't like the Savannah Bananas.
Oh.
And they think that that's bad for the sport. It's a one-trick pony.
So,
okay?
because
but
the Globetrotters have been horrible for basketball for 85 years.
Yes.
And then I've heard at least 3 people mention the fact that they don't think, and this is probably for political reasons, that the national anthem should be a part of sporting events. That it is the easiest way to eliminate all the controversy is just to remove it. Then why is it there in the first place? Is their point. I don't know if I necessarily agree with that, but I have heard that argument before.
I could go either way on that one. It wouldn't bother me if it was gone, but God Bless America in the 7th inning every Sunday. Let's get rid of that one. That's done. It's tired. They did that for 9/11 and it's been, 22 years. Let's move on.
Yeah. Geez, those were dour ones. Somebody come up with something fun.
The ESPYs.
Yeah.
I hate the ESPYs. And millions of people watch it. It's so freaking stupid.
All of those.
I like the idea of the ESPYs. It's what they've made it to be. Yeah. Can't
super
stand
cheesy.
it. Super cheesy production 4-hour show instead of just naming some awards make an hour-long Sports Center special and be done with it.
Well, any of these organizations, we're gonna have a show to applaud ourselves. Well, fine, go. Bye.
Speaking of that, the first annual Highlights from Lowlifes award show will be happening next Wednesday night at 6 p.m. Pacific time.
Yeah, and we're going to be at the Pacific Theater, and so we can tell.
I'm gonna protest and have somebody come out for me.
Yeah, and we can sell all 7
Somebody
tickets.
throw a yellow flag at Marty.
Yeah. And all the proceeds go to the Rob Weber Detox Clinic.
That's right. We're going to save that yellow flag on Marty, and we're just going to play it constantly through every show.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm kind of disappointed. Where's the red card? I mean,
so Marty, one of our listeners is not commenting in the show. He's sending me texts, and he said that a black flag should be thrown on Marty. And I said, black flag, isn't that insect spray? And he said, yes, it is. All right. Anything else? I think we hit the wall.
Yep.
Jeff needs to go take some NyQuil. The rest of us,
take care, Jeff. Take care.
the rest of us are going to go drink another beer. Thank you for joining us here on the Mic'd Up app. We'll see you next Wednesday night at 6 p.m. Pacific. Have a great evening, everyone.